Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, Tears Day, named after Tyr, to Tig, the Mars equivalent in the Nordic pantheon, and esoterically ruled by Mars, Tuesdays are, and it is the 6th of January. The sun is in Capricorn, 16 degrees, the moon is in Leo, 28 degrees, Mercury's in Capricorn, but Venus and Mars are also at 16 degrees Capricorn, so there's a triplicate conjunction between Venus, Mars, and the sun, which are opposite Jupiter and squaring Chiron. So that's the thing. We'll talk about the astrology as we go, but the cards I pulled for the day, the King of Wands with a clarifier card of the Six of Pentacles, and the Oracle card, which is the wild card of the day, Yayoi Kusama. So let's get into it. If you are a fire sign, if you're an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, you are a wand. It's all about action and zeal, spirit, making moves, being inspired. On page 74, the King of Wands, I seek to change the world. Pluto in Aquarius, trining Uranus retrograde in Taurus. The King of Wands, the earthy part of fire, Moon in Leo. Sun, Mars, Venus conjunct in Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn. The grounded part of inspiration. Inner strength, courage, and leadership, standing up for yourself and others, being direct in your purpose, applying self-discipline. That is very much in par for the course for the astrology going on right now. So, of all the kings, the King of Wands is the charismatic ruler of his people. An imposing, inspiring figure, he is the archetypal man of action with unbelievable reserves of energy, creativity, and vitality. Moon in Leo, Sun in Cap. He is masterful in not only initiating change, but applying the self-discipline needed to see it through to its fruitful end. The king symbolizes phenomenal inner strength, courage, and leadership, and understanding the volatility of fire is able to harness its force for the good of all. The King of Wands has always been a very powerful card for me, symbolizing the power to disrupt in a truly creative and peaceful way. His body is made from aromatic resin-coated kindling, the heartwood found in the stumps of ancient longleaf pines, which blazes hot and bright. If well organized, it builds the foundation of something that burns long and well. The king in ancient times was perceived as a god, the crown often spiked like the rays of the sun. This king wears a crown of thorns, an emblem of conscious humility, for his authority is rooted in the manifest world. His wand creates new forms of life, symbolizing just how powerful the human imagination is. North Node in Pisces. We create our own reality. Alan Watts, whose birthday is today, was like, your senses create your input data that allows you to apprehend the Tao of reality. So in a sense, you are creating your reality, right? It's manifesting through your participation and witnessing of it. We create our own reality. The creative process begins with generation, so don't be too quick to discard your ideas. Let things grow before you decide what must be pruned back. The shadow of all this Capricorn energy is like, it's not perfect, it's not just right. Stomp the little, bad ideas. It's like, give it space to breathe and then refine. It's like a little bonsai bush. You don't just chop it all down because it's not growing the way you want it to. Working with David Bowie, and he's been on my podcast a few times, shout out. Not David Bowie, but the creator of this deck, David DeAngelis. I was constantly reminded that every aspect of a design or artistic creation contains the potential to become a game changer. Pluto in Aquarius, trining Uranus retrograde in Taurus. I experienced him as phenomenally disciplined, relentless in keeping the integrity of the vision, able to zoom in on details that would be seen as insignificant and coax something significant from it. David Bowie is also a Capricorn, I should say. At the same time, I was struck by how affirmative and generous he was to others, Moon in Leo, Jupiter in Cancer, retrograde, encouraging them to shine despite being phenomenally busy and constantly in demand. Likewise, the King of Wands is a mentor to those around him, especially his children, coaching them to reach their full potential, and that is of supreme importance, whatever his work schedule and obligations. His world is exciting and action-packed, and he will encourage his children to use their initiative, take risks, and go out and explore the world. This, for me, is the essence of leadership, to be totally committed and direct in your purpose, and at the same time giving others the opportunity to be fully birthed as the person they carry the potential to be. All right, so the King of Wands, the grounded part of, inspiration. Inner strength, courage, and leadership, standing up for yourself and others, being direct in your purpose, and applying self-discipline. It reminds me of Aragorn, the Return of the King. At the very end, he's still a king with authority and power and, top of the pyramid. But he's like, don't bow to me, friends. I have compassion and understanding and inclusivity. I allow you to be you without crushing you, kind of vibes. So the clarifying card is the Six of Swords. If you're an air sign, this is your suit, the mind, the sword of mind. And so Geminis, Libras, and Aquarians. Six of Swords, on page 132, I adventure into the great unknown. Being aware of the energy of transition, Pluto, trining Uranus, Pluto and Aquarius, trining Uranus, retrograde in Taurus. Leaving the familiar behind, moving forward, forgiving the past, and testing your ability to gain self-knowledge. We have to go through the crucible, one step at a time. Chop wood, carry water. But that crucible is how we alchemize, and it's unavoidable, right? We are initiated into the process when we incarnate, and you can't, the movie won't stop. You can't walk out of your own story. So how are you grounding your passion? How are you using your inspiration to actually shape the world around you? Because you're always being initiated into new domains. There's no sitting still, ever, ultimately. So Yayoi Kusama is the wild card of the day from the Art Oracle. She is very Pluto and Aquarius, North Node and Pisces, but at the same time, because she's so old, is very Saturnian, very Capricornic energy. The now octogenarian, and she's probably older because this is not a new deck, the now octogenarian Yayoi Kusama voluntarily lives in a mental institution in Japan, where she draws upon her visions and hallucinations for inspiration. Among the recurring elements of Kusama's work are polka dots, which she describes as the shape that makes us humans, composed of particles, and unites us with the earth and the sun, right? We're all different. The sun is not the earth, is not, the atom or whatever, but we're all little circumspect dots of happening. So spheres of influence and awareness, if you want to put it that way. Kusama's infinity rooms are mirrored artistic chambers that multiply bodies and alter perceptions. Over her long, prolific career, Sun, conjunct Mars and Venus in Capricorn, Moon in Leo, over her long career, Kusama has led the avant-garde with bold happenings, big ideas, and bright wigs. Moon in Leo, Pluto and Aquarius, North Node and Pisces. So the idea we're getting from her is show them your hallucinations, right? And by hallucinations, we're probably more meaning like visions, your inspiration, your perspective. Like what is burning in your heart deeply? How can you use that as a kiln for your self-actualization and others? It's like a samurai sword, right? You need heat and pressure, and you're banging it into shape, and then it's a really strong object. Are you chopping people's heads off? Are you using it as a deterrent? Is it a work of art? Is it all these things, right? So know that you have the power. You have to ground that power and use it as an inspirational force for yourself and others, not just power for power's sake. Know that we're all being initiated, right? We're all little dots in the trip of life. We're all being initiated into our fullness of authenticity, but it needs to be aware and inclusive of others. That is its own lesson, right? Show people your visions. Show people your hallucinations. It's a little like Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. He was a visionary, and though it was a trial by fire, he didn't just get rewarded for being a visionary, as the story goes. Ultimately, that was his role. So you don't want to hide it under a bushel. You want to show people what you got, but you want to do it in a way that's grounded, responsible, practical, embodied. And that is how you walk the path, the Tao, well. Ultimately knowing that vision, imagination, and heart are what bleed out and inspire yourself and others towards more life, more options, more experiences, more challenges, more joys, all of it, yin-yanging forever and ever, amen. So if you've enjoyed this, maybe tag somebody who is not into tarot, astrology, archetypes, cultural references, etc. They can pick up what I'm putting down and get turned on to the magic that is. If you've enjoyed it, leave a tip. There's a tip jar. Obviously, holler for a reading. 3 hours of astrology is $150. 1 hour of cards is $50. Five tarot cards, 5 oracle cards. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, Capricorn, you get half off on either of those offerings, so astrology and or cards. And if you refer somebody to me, you get half off on cards for yourself. So if you're like, I'm broke, there's a way to get discounts and spread the good word. So know that you have power. Be the change that you want to see in the world by shining brightly, but keep that fire in the kiln so you don't burn the forest down. Like, use it to your and others' advantage, knowing that's how we walk each other home, knowing it's all one big trip, but you need to show your magic. That's why you're here, too. So, on that note, enjoy your Tears Day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios.